You do you. If all you want to be is a mom, then go be a mom. But don't forget, you might have to earn some money before you settle down and pop some kids out. Hello everybody, it's your girl here at Pray Like a Girl. I'm Camryn, and welcome back to another Friday here. Today we're going to talk about moms. This is not a pregnancy announcement video. It's just a video, okay? So have you ever watched those clips of actresses online, or CEOs, or whoever, famous people with big careers, and the interviewer asks them, how do you do it? How do you balance career and children? And they're like, I hope you ask all the men here this question, but maybe you're that person, because I know I was and still am that person, thinking, well, I don't even want to balance career and motherhood. I just want to be a mom. And I think that's something that's really hard for some people growing up, because our culture, although it claims to be a very feminist and progressive society, looks down upon motherhood. You know, our culture frowns upon motherhood as a job. Some parts of it do a really good job at lifting up moms and saying, hey everybody, motherhood is actually really hard work. They are teachers and nurses and maids and cooks and chauffeurs and like everybody all in one. I totally agree with all of that. Obviously, mothers deserve so much respect. But I think it's interesting that if you were to ask a high school girl, what do you want to do later in life? And she told you, oh, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. A lot of people, I think, look down upon that and think it's kind of like lesser than all of these great career aspirations, you know, which so many women have broken the glass ceiling and have just gone so far, which again is great. And I'm not saying anything against that. But for some people, we just don't want that. We don't have grand career ambitions. We just want to be the very best wife and the very best mother that we can be. And I think that's a very honorable vocation. Anyways, I'm going to get off my soapbox a little bit, but only a smidgen, because isn't that what these videos are about? Is it okay to just want to be a mom? Of course, it's great. But then there are the practical aspects of it too. For example, it's great if you just want to be a mom, but that kind of only works if you're married when you're like 18 years old. If you get married later in life, you're still going to need some kind of a career before then. So what are the next steps supposed to look like? I'm kind of making this video for myself as much as it is for everybody else, because, you know, sometimes it's hard to remember. Is it worth going to college if you want to be a stay-at-home mom? Yes and no. Again, depending on your situation. College obviously involves a lot of debt. But if there's something that you're interested in that you can see yourself doing until you become a mom, then that's definitely a great route to go. Especially if your interests are something that's very hard to do without a college degree. For example, if you are very into vets. If you're very into animals, you may be interested in going to school to become a vet's assistant. I don't actually know anything about animals, so I don't know if a vet assistant is a real position, but I'm sure, you know, like the nurses for vet offices, veterinarian offices, that's a thing, probably. I did not do that with my life. Moving on. Then there are the people who go to college to spouse hunt. They do want to be moms. They don't super care about their degree, unless you are talking about their MRS degree, am I right? Personally, I think going to college just to spouse hunt is super dumb. I apologize to anyone who does. Obviously, lots of people meet their significant other, their future husband, in college. I think that's a lot of debt to go into, just based on the idea that maybe I'll meet somebody I don't even know. Not like the wisest financial decision, but again, I know it's worked for some people. Just know that people who are not spouse hunters will judge you a little bit, or a lot of it. It's fine. Sometimes when you're looking at colleges knowing you just kind of want to be a mom, it feels a little bit almost like a waste. Well, what if I get married in college or right out of college? Am I just going to drop everything I've worked for the past 4 years to take care of my kids? Maybe, maybe not. I personally went into college with the idea that this is going to help further my career, however long that lasts. For example, what if your husband loses his job? What if your husband's hours get cut? It's always good to be able to contribute to income. Additionally, if you are going to get married and then wait a little bit to have kids, that's time when you can be working and saving up money for you guys to afford children, buy a house, buy a dog, bring it to your vet with their vet assistant. But that's something that you kind of have to weigh, like, is it worth doing this? Should I just go to community college and get a different, work on a smaller program, get a certificate or something like that, or just do a practical kind of thing? Nobody has to go to college. The way that I'm kind of thinking about it now, as I feel like in my career, I still don't even think of myself as having a career. I think of myself as having, obviously a job with benefits that pays the bills. It's worth thinking, well, this is my primary vocation, right? Your big V vocation, capital V vocation, is marriage. It's going to be being a great wife and being a great mother. And God's not going to call me to something for my little V vocation, my lowercase vocation. He's not going to call me to something that's going to contradict that. It'll be something that complements that. So you can brainstorm, well, what are some things that I could do that I could still do a little bit of once I'm married and have kids, Whether that's, maybe you're a part-time wedding planner, you just take on a few gigs here and there, do wedding photography if you're really interested in photography. Maybe you're an artist and you decide to open up an Etsy shop and you get all your kids to help you stick shipping labels onto packages, and you can ignore lots of child labor laws because they're your kids. Just kidding. There's a lot of different possibilities and a lot of flexibility now that you can still contribute to the income of the house and also get to do something you're passionate about. Even though, obviously, as we've established, your big V vocation is being the best mom ever and the best wife ever, and I know you're going to be the best mom and wife ever. You still are allowed to have passions outside of those things, As it's possible to have a big V vocation and a little V vocation, it's also possible to have a big C career and a little C career. And I think that's where our culture mixes things up a lot, is they think you're only a success if you have a big C career and not necessarily a small C career. Whereas it's totally okay to do that. It's also totally okay to have no career at all. You have to decide what's important to you in life and follow it. Most of all, you should discern your vocation and figure out what complements that and what's compatible with that. But most of all, you should remember that it is totally okay to not have any strong ambitions career-wise. It's totally okay to just want to get married and be a cute housewife, cook and clean for your husband and your kids, be the best mom ever. You know how people say, it's the little things in life. Well, this path really demonstrates that these are the little things in life, but sometimes the little things can be the most important things. I hope your Friday is filled with lots of joy and truffles, and we will see you here next Friday. Have a lovely afternoon.